This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 648. Hi, I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, plus part one of my Into an interview with Robby Cronholm, the lead singer, songwriter of the band called Taxes. And we will find out the results of the Razzie Awards. Mike's Daily Podcast. I talked to the founder of the Razzies, John Wilson, not too long ago, for sure. Mike's Daily Podcast. You can check out that interview right now at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Click on that interviews tab at the top of the page, and then scroll down and find John Wilson's name for the Razzies. Hey, last show, Madame Rutabaga made a toilet paper doll for Seth MacFarlane. That's one of the things you can check out if you go back in your Oh My Darling. And what? Mike's Daily Podcast. Lyrics. Difficult to do. So we'll talk to Robby Cronholm about Mike's that. Because he writes fantastic Daily lyrics for Taxes. Podcast. So let's just move on with the show. Because things... Oh, yeah. So the toilet paper doll... It was actually toilet paper roll doll is what it was. Made to look like Seth MacFarlane on the last show. And it actually ripped apart because we put one too many paper rolls on it. It was sad. It was tragic. But, you know, sometimes you need a little bit of tragedy to get to the sunshine. And Southern California finally getting into the sunshine. But we're here in the Northern California part, and it's still quite dark outside. But I don't mind. We needed the rain, right? The drought going on in California. So this was something. I was watching that television show, Psych. One of the reasons why I watch it is because it takes place in Santa Barbara. Supposedly. Actually, it's filmed in Canada. But the characters, they're psychic, and I don't know. I don't really pay attention. But what I did notice was one of the characters said to the other character, they're trying to pull off some sort of ruse, some sort of plan. And one of the characters says to the other, I called an audible, because he breaks with their plan to do something else because he sees something that he thinks will be better. In football, right, you call audibles when suddenly a snap decision is made and people do something different than what was originally planned. And I hate that expression because it reminds me when I was the program director of a radio station in Alabama for a country station, and the morning show host who we got from Los Angeles. That was the big, we got this guy from L.A. He's from Los Angeles. We're bringing him to Alabama, so all the Alabamans will listen to him because he's from, like, Hollywood. Ooh. And this guy used to, I would tell him, okay, don't give away more prizes than we have. Because then you'll say we're giving something away and we don't have it. How are we supposed to get it? We don't have money to buy stuff. We're like broke as a radio station. So, it was right in the time of the economic collapse. And he would say, but Mike, I have to call an audible. And in other words, he would give something away that we didn't have. And it just used to say that all the time. I had to call an audible. Well, then we'll take it out of your paycheck, which you make more than the rest of us anyway, so what the hell. And then, speaking of egos, Alec Baldwin. Well, he says he's no longer going to be involved in public life. You've heard about that. I actually read, when that came out a week ago, I read that whole article, his whole letter. And yeah, so he said some words that you shouldn't say. Okay, one of them being a word that you would use to say the lady that runs England, Elizabeth, what her title is. And then the other thing is also involved with England, what they call something that they smoke. Okay, those words you just should not use. So he has apologized to all the different groups that he has offended, but he is still being ostracized. So he said, forget it. Screw you guys, I'm going home, is what he basically said. And it was interesting because he brought up Shia LaBeouf at one of the plays he was doing. Shia was one of the cast members, and they were supposed to do a table reading, and Shia expected him, Alec Baldwin, to have memorized all of the lines. And then he got quite mad at Alec when he did not do that and stormed out of the reading. I thought that was an interesting story. But this whole thing has gotten me to think about Paula Deen, and she should not have said those words. And the Dixie Chicks, all they said were 13 words to the effect of, we're ashamed that our president is from Texas. And you know what? You've heard people say far worse things about Obama over the past couple of years. Of course, Ted Nugent just had to repeal one of the things he said. Retract. I wish his whole mouth would retract into his... So that's what I was thinking about today. Look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike. Chely Shoehart, the shop supervisor. That was very eloquently put.
Well, that went on for another 20 minutes in my head. So I paraphrase.
Thank God.
Look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, we wanted to tell you that we want to call an audible right now.
Yeah, we're not going to follow this stupid script you wrote out for us. And I'm going to take my bucket of mop water and throw it at the controls that control the time machine here at the last place on Earth. Don't do that. Well, I'm going to because I'm Floyd the Floorman. Oh, no. You've electrocuted the controls. The last place on Earth is going back in time. Anyway, back to when Alec Baldwin was the hot thing. The hot ticket, so he makes a movie called The Shadow. And I'm sitting in a theater. There I am, right over there, sitting in a theater in Santa Barbara watching the movie. And it's the first time that I've ever met the person, the stereotype that talks on their cell phone in the middle of a movie theater through the whole movie. Hey, where you at? So this guy, he talked through the whole movie, and believe me, he was far more interesting than the movie. Can we get out of here?
Yes, Mike, I think we should.
Let's go.
I'm reversing the polarity.
Whatever, just get us out of here.
Okay.
All right, there we go. We're going back to the future. And please don't ever call an audible again, Floyd the Floorman. Sorry. Gosh, I hate that expression. And there's this other... I decided to dump the mop water on you instead. I appreciate it. So, yeah, as I stand here wet and soggy, the Razzie Awards happened. And yes, we did interview the guy who puts the Razzies on. And here are the winners. The losers. Worst Picture of the Year, Movie 43. I have no clue what that movie is. It's got like Halle Berry, Hugh Jackman, Gerard Butler, Anna Faris, and Kate Winslet. Okay. Now I want to see it. Worst Actor, Jaden Smith, After Earth. Worst Actress, Tyler Perry as Medea in A Medea Christmas. Worst Supporting Actor, Will Smith in After Earth. Hey, I'm seeing a trend going on with the Smiths. I love the band The Smiths. We talk about the Smiths coming up in just a moment into an interview. Worst Supporting Actress, Kim Kardashian with Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. Ooh, I want to see that now. Worst Screen Combo, here we go. Jaden Smith and Will Smith on After Earth, which they called Planet Nepotism. Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel, The Lone Ranger. Worst, everybody agrees with that. Worst Director, the 13 people who directed Movie 43. And Worst Screenplay, Movie 43. Yeah, well, there you go. So what do you think about that? Do you think those movies are deserving of the Razzie? You can email me, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section Emails from Email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. And there's the website, MikesDailyPodcast.com. Go there to find links to where to listen to us in iTunes. You can subscribe to the show, rate and comment the show. Comment on the show there. And there is also links to where to catch the show on Facebook, the Facebook page. And if you like the show on the Facebook page, then we appear in your news feed. And if you share the posts that I do with your friends on the Mike's Daily Podcast page on Facebook, then more people will find out about us. It's wondrous. Then there's also links to where to listen to us on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube. We're also on Yelp, Twitter, and Tumblr. Links to all of those at MikesDailyPodcast.com. And the Amazon deal of the day, if you click on the Amazon deal of the day there at MikesDailyPodcast.com and buy something at a great discount, then we get some support for that as well. There is also the blog and the daily podcast picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Okay.
Into an interview.
Hello, Robby Cronholm. Is it Cronholm?
You said it perfectly, and most don't, so thank you for that, yes.
I must have some learning in my background.
You're a learned man.
And you're from the band Taxes.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I am. We're from San Francisco, California, and we're called Taxes.
Not Texas, but Taxes.
That is right. We had stickers made the last time we played Texas that said, "Don't mess with taxes," just to make the matter more confusing.
And Texans are easy to confuse.
Oh, hey now.
Is what
I should be there this week for South by, but it was more than we could handle right now. So.
All right, well, I want to tell you that your band is awesome, and I love your voice. I'm going to get all the praise out of the way, okay?
Okay, yeah, I'll get all the blushing out of the way right now, too.
So there might be a little bit of praise going on throughout this interview, but I just wanted to say that your voice, when I first heard advertising, I had not heard of you guys before. And then I heard your voice, and I'm like, oh my God, something way back in his voice, I can hear Simon Le Bon, but but it's completely different, and your lyrics are fantastic, and this is an awesome song. So
that is so funny that you would say that. First of all, thank you, humbly. And it's so bizarre that you would say that, as my love of music started very early with my babysitter when I was 5 years old. And she would always bring me a mixtape every week, new mixtape. The first music I ever heard, really, outside of Simon and Garfunkel, was my babysitter showed up with a mixtape of The Clash and the Greg Kihn Band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, I got we're talking like 8 years old, 9 years old, I got super into Duran Duran. And my babysitter took me, with my parents' blessing, to see Duran Duran. I was in the live video shoot for, I'm having trouble remembering which song, but it was at a Coliseum. And
was it Notorious?
I don't remember what song it might have been. In fact, I haven't Googled it in a while, but I'll have to. But I had my babysitter bought me a tan cap with like the split, like ape drape kind of like neck cover in the back, like a safari hat almost.
Oh yeah, like what was that video out in the desert?
Yes, you know what I'm talking about. The Duran Duran made it popular, and I still have it, and I safety pinned to the back of it the newspaper clipping of Duran Duran and a Duran Duran pin that my babysitter got me. So you're the first person to bring up Simon Le Bon, but I am blown away by that.
Maybe it was Union of the Snake is on the road.
It might have been that one. We'll have to Google it. But wow, what a great pop band. Yeah, I always loved them. I always did. And time has been on my side, I think. You know, they were dismissed for a little while, but
yeah,
the 80s are back in, baby.
Well, now you mentioned the Greg Kihn Band. That's also their local guys, and you are local.
Yes.
But and you are one of the first local bands I've interviewed. I've interviewed a lot of people from Canada for some reason.
Interesting. And I just heard one of your podcasts where I believe you were interviewing someone from Europe, or you talk to a lot of people.
Sweden,
which is my last name is Cronholm, which in Swedish is Cronholm. And yeah, that made me happy.
Very good. Fredrik Solfors would enjoy talking to you. You guys should rap some of the band Kinetics. I think you.
Yes, that's the one.
You two would have a lot in common. Now, is there someone that you would like to write and record with?
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding me? It's Morrissey.
Yeah!
which is basically like saying I'd like to meet our creator, but there are all these stories. I don't have any tattoos, but I want them desperately. But there are all these stories of people running into Morrissey in Los Angeles, and if you go up to him and you have a Sharpie, he will write his name, not sign his name, but write it in not in script on your forearm, and then you're supposed to rush immediately to the tattoo parlor and have it cemented. And that is my dream. That is my dream.
All right, let's say you could do a duet with him on one of his songs. What song would it be?
On one of his songs?
On one of his, like, yeah, he said,
Yes.
he'd say, let's redo one of my songs, and you can
Good.
sing a couple parts
Whoa.
and all.
Is this Morrissey? Oh my God, put Mike back on the phone.
Hello, I'm Morrissey. He's got kind of a Kermit thing going on. It's Morrissey.
Put Mike back on the phone right now, you British bastard. I have a very strange choice for that, but I don't know if that's good for your listeners. But he did a B-side a couple years back called Mexico.
I don't know.
And it is my favorite ballad of the last 5 years, easily. In Mexico, I lie on my back. It's just like this beautiful love song to the country of Mexico and about how United States relations. I'm not a political person, but I guess we all are in some sense. But it's just the most lilting, soft lullaby, and it's a beautiful song, and I would love to sing that one with him.
Oh, there's just so many great songs. There's a song on my phone that comes up when I'm listening to the shuffle, and it's Ouija board, Ouija board, Ouija board.
Oh, God,
will
that's
you
a good
work
one.
for me?
Would you help me?
Yeah.
Such a good one. Oh,
the
it's so
table's
sad,
moving, the glasses. I was not pushing that time. P-U-S. And it spells out push off Kevin or Steven.
Yes, it does. It does. Wow, you know your Morrissey. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. I think we need to do a Morrissey appreciation show.
Absolutely. Now, you know I just got tickets to see him. I was driving to meet my family for I could only get away for 2 days, but I drove up to Tahoe to meet my family. And my alarm went off for Morrissey tickets, so I pulled the car over, and I sat there on my phone, and I'm proud to say I have 2 tickets to see Morrissey at the San Jose Civic on his new tour. Although, let it be stated, that he has canceled on me now 5 times.
Oh, my gosh, that's what I've heard, is he cancels constantly.
Constantly. I mean, I've been seeing, I've had the privilege of seeing him 4, but I've had tickets. I followed him too. If he's in LA, I'll go to LA. If he's, anywhere, I'll take a flight. But 5 times in my lifetime he's canceled on me. So
I've only been canceled on once, and guess who's by? Kelly Clarkson.
I'm gonna guess Morrissey. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't give you any time to guess. It was Kelly Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, I love Kelly. Oh, God.
I've never seen her because she didn't, what do they say? Honor those tickets later. She just blew it off completely.
Yes. Oh, really? So there was what, you got a refund, no?
Well, I got them free through a radio station. Free.
Look at you. Yeah. Look at you, mover and shaker.
So I guess I can't complain. Although I didn't find out about it until I was... it was in Santa Barbara, and I had to drive like an hour to get there, and at that point, I was almost there, and then I found out it was canceled. It sucked.
Amazing. I just fell in love with one of her songs recently. God, I can't remember what the hell it's called. It's on my phone. But she really knows how to write them, too. Or maybe her team of writers does. But I guess... If your listeners are getting the idea that I'm a cross between Morrissey and Kelly Clarkson, well, they might be right. I was gonna correct them, but I have this deep, abiding love for pop music that I can't shake, and it sounds like maybe you do too, so that's a good thing.
Well, I should say, I haven't said this yet, but we are recording this in the studio of KKIQ in Pleasanton, California, where they do play a lot of Kelly Clarkson. In fact, I'm looking at what's playing right now, and it's Pink.
Oh, Pink. Here's what I heard about Pink through my producer, who has worked with her, is that he's worked with a lot of pop icons, and he says in the whole business, everyone uses a little bit of auto-tune, just a little bit, like a little push here, a little scrape there.
Yeah.
But he says that Pink is the one artist that never needs any help. She has perfect pitch, and she has a voice that could, tear down a house. So.
Wow, and she can do all that Cirque du Soleil stuff, too. She's amazing.
It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Oh, man, it is. It is.
Robby, I have so many questions for you. Like I said, I'm a huge fan, and I would love to ask you about what you were talking... Well, yeah, we're going to play a song in just a moment, but I want to...
Great.
I want to say... You were talking about, before we started recording, that you met Katy Perry's head writer.
Yes, her name is Bonnie McKee, and she works out of Pulse Recording in Los Angeles. And that's the studio where our producer works. And so we'll go in there with our, our sort of overly emotive pop, rock, emo stuff. And then right in this little studio off to the left, Bonnie McKee is working. And if you haven't Googled this, listeners, Google Bonnie McKee medley, and she has written more top 10 songs in the last 5 years than almost anyone I can think of. Wow. And she just sits at a piano and plays them like in a medley, and it is, wow, it will blow your mind. And last time I was in there, she was rehearsing for a radio show, and we had the privilege of being able to sit there and listen to her. Sorry, that's a bus in back of me, but listening to her do her new single, American Girl. And the girl is so talented, it's crazy. Makes me want to quit music when you meet people that talented, really, but I don't.
Wow, well, you are very talented, too, so let's get back to you.
Absolutely. That's my least favorite subject, but let's do it.
Although I would like to find out if Katy Perry is dumping John Mayer permanently, and where I can meet her for a nice coffee.
Hey, if I knew, you think I'd tell you?
Oh, yeah. Dang it.
Yeah. First dibs. I got first dibs on that.
You're going to coffee block me. Oh, well. Robby Cronholm.
Yes.
Okay, so your lyrics are fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
And so, like I said, Advertising was the first song I heard, and I watched the video today, and I really enjoyed it. I love the 70s garb and all those old-timey word processor devices. And
Thank you. We spent a long time gathering those.
That was very cool. And how did this song come about?
I actually worked in advertising for about 2.5, 3 years.
So that's true, because you say in the song that I shouldn't have quit advertising. That is true.
It was written during a time when I was really struggling with the music, and it's a tough industry for sure, as I'm sure you're well aware. Mm-hmm. And I just was working in advertising. I was a creative assistant, so nothing too glamorous, but I assisted a couple heads of the department at Conan Belding in San Francisco, and I had a knack for it. I had sort of a sort of disgusting corporate dream of being a corporate copywriter. And this was in the heyday of advertising, where I had ideas for ads, but I wasn't quite there yet. And my bosses were, renting Jaguars and staying at the finest hotels, and I would have to do the expense reports for them. And I thought, hey, if I just hang in here a little bit, I could do it. Unfortunately, a couple things got in the way. I had some dark times. I had some drug addiction issues that led to me being fired, and it wasn't a good time following that. But but that song is from the place where I just thought, I mean, it's a little tongue-in-cheek, wherein I wished I could have hung in there and done my time, and you know, I'd probably be making a great living at this point, doing silly ads on the Super Bowl or something like that, and renting Jaguars and staying at the finest hotels. But everything for a reason, and that song just sort of comes out of that, you know?
Ah, okay. Well, it's a fantastic song. I'm almost glad that the advertising thing didn't work out, because this song came from it.
Thank you for saying that.
I know
that's kind of the whole point, right? It's like, it's a lament, but it isn't a very big one, because, as you said, that song never would have existed, and it's one of my favorites too. So thanks for saying so.
Now, it's from the is it from the EP? This is going to end badly.
No, that was our first EP.
Oh,
and our second was called "It's Always Something," because it is, and that's where advertising comes from. And we're just getting ready to release our new record, and obviously the one I'm most proud of, which is called "It Never Ends."
It Never Ends. Okay, I love your album titles.
Thank you. I try to find things that are comical and yet sort of filled with despair.
You know, that's what I love about your stuff. The lyrics, and you know what? It's gotten me, listening to your stuff is inspiring me to write again, to write songs, because that's the kind of songs I like to write, is to get at something that I'm passionate about, which is often the things that frustrate me the most in life. But make it in a way that's fun to listen to and makes you want to rock out. And that's kind of what your stuff is doing, is a mix of all that. It's great.
Absolutely, and thanks for noticing that. I mean, I don't want to go back to Morrissey. Okay, I want to go back to Morrissey. The thing I love about the Smiths and Morrissey is that, you know, he gets this bad rap as being such a, oh, you're so depressed, you love the Smiths or whatever. Like, there's so much comedy in this, like Vicar in a Tutu, or, I mean, there's so much, that one just popped into mind, but there's so much comedy in those lyrics that are about despair. And I just think that's the way life is. It's you know, it isn't easy. It's filled with a lot of pain and loss, but at the same time, there's such beauty and great comedy in it all. So I try to combine those two things.
Well, so this is Taxes and their song Advertising. It's Robby Cronholm we're talking to, and in the band also is Laura Dean, Josh White, Jonathan Kepke, and Brad Harbidge.
Well said.
And it's Taxes on Mike's Daily Podcast.
So sadly, it seems to be a trend. Doesn't always end badly, but it always ends, it always ends. It's not tragic, just not quite planned. Doesn't always end badly, but it always ends, it always ends, it always ends. I keep waiting for the Pacific to roll over the headlands, specifically to sweep away the sadness that I seem so swept up in. All these petty desires, all this blatant want, all these unlit fires and the ghost that haunts me. So sadly, it seems to be a trend. Doesn't always end badly, but it always ends, it always ends. It's not tragic, just not quite swerve into the wrong lane. So take me back to that someone that I left somewhere there on that plane. Oh, and I loved you like old sailors, they love the stars. But I couldn't chart a course across your cloudy heart. All these petty desires, all these familiar pangs, all these uncrossed wires and the alarms that rang out. I should have stayed in advertising. I should have made a safer bet. I should have tried my hand at acting. Now there's just an ocean of regret. Ocean of regret. Should have stayed in advertising.
Oh, love that song. All right, so we got part 2 tomorrow. We got the finale as we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. More Robby Cronholm and taxes. You'll actually be looking forward to taxes tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to doing those taxes. Ugh. Why did I have to bring everyone down by mentioning that? Here's a upbeat note. Advertising. There you go.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The pictures of the band Taxes. Robby Cronholm, Laura Dean, Josh White, Jonathan Kepke, and Brad Harbidge. See that there at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Mike Matthews, I didn't say anything on today's show.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Say something.
I think that...
That's great. Tomorrow we will bring you the finale of Into an Interview with Robby Cronholm.
You're like so mean.
All right, do you want to do the rest of the billboard for tomorrow?
Okay, yeah, so Robby is like so cute. With the band Taxes, they like sound so great.
That's very nice for you to say.
Yeah, and then there's also going to be Benita. She's very nice. The Disgruntled Fiddle Player and the Brewmaster. He's weird.
Yes, he makes some bizarre root beer drinks.
I don't like any of them.
That's okay if you say that.
Mike Matthews, when we went back in time and saw you watching the Alec Baldwin movie, The Shadow, you looked like really young.
Yeah, I did look young when I was younger. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah, totally.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
Right now, everything in the gift shop's on sale.
The show's over, though, Chely.
Oh, never mind.